Right, okay. So as I say, Harry's given me some questions and I've been going round the room getting some additional questions for you, Ronnie, so if you don't mind, we'll fire them at you and just elaborate as much as you like. So, when did you first go to the Speedway and who with?
1948, my mother and father.
Okay. And do you know what match it was? Was it the
No,
first Monarchs match?
No, I couldn't tell you, but I remember the riders were Bob Mark, Eddie Lack, Danny Lee, Jimmy Cox, Harry Darlin, who's a friend of mine, who's still living today. So that's my first meeting.
And were you hooked as soon as you seen it?
I would say yes.
Yeah. And then after that you went every week, did you? Or most weeks?
Well, most weeks.
Aye.
Where they put, well, Meadowbank and Powder Hall.
Yeah, then
Well, we went to Blantyre and Coatbridge and things like that.
Yeah.
And of course we met up with Brian, who we knew anyway, and had a good relationship through Brian and what have you.
So for you're a Monarchs fan from 48 onwards, basically. But what about in between, when there was no Monarchs? You weren't a Tigers fan, were you?
Oh no.
No, that's alright then. So did you still go to Speedway, say, for 70 to 76 when the Monarchs were in existence?
Yes.
You still went along?
Well, not very much. Most of the stock cars I've got involved with. Because I started my own business and I felt that 4 wheels are safer than 2.
Yes.
So
That's what's
Next one is, so, other than being a Speedway fan, what was your first involvement with the Speedway and how did that come about, you know, on the director's side or whatever?
well, directors was 1986. I think we're struggling. So John Campbell and a few of us, Alan Hartley and 1 or 2 others, decided to start Edinburgh Speedway in 1986. So that's all I can remember as far as that's concerned.
So you've been a director since then. Were you a sponsor of riders before you became a director?
Well, over the period of time, I've sponsored over 20 riders. So, I could just would name them, but
Do you remember who your first sponsorship was?
I think, I can't remember if it was either Chris Turner or Neil Collins. Can't remember. Even though I knew Brian in that, days, he didn't really sponsor somebody. You know, he just bought a tyre or something like that.
Yeah.
And over the years it got developed, you know, the sponsorship.
So they would ask you more and more of you rather than just give me a tyre.
Yeah,
Well, Speedway's become more expensive, isn't it? So the riders need more help, I suppose.
oh,
Don't
that's right. Well, I was lucky I was in business, so, you know, it did help.
So you got a bit of advertising as well as keep the taxman happy.
Well, when you start, you know, I just thoroughly enjoyed it and the people involved with it. So that's why I've been with Speedway. And I wouldn't like to see everything happen, that's for sure.
Well, I think as fans, we all want to see it continue as long as it can. Next one's any other collections of Bertie Bar. For those that don't know, Bertie used to drive the tractors for many years, didn't he? Armadale, certainly. Probably before that as well.
Very well. Well, I got friendly with them, and they used to do the walking track at Powder Hall with Alan Bridget. I was a part of the team, and I was just telling Brian, we've got a water bowser. You know, just a thin tank, very small tank, a wee spray. And it wasn't very good. And Bertie used to do this, and I always remember Alec Hartness bought a tractor to get the number plate. It was a wee Massey Ferguson. And he thought he could transfer the number plate to his car, but it didn't work out. So old Bertie Barr drove the tractor.
And one of us here is, we all know that you, behind the scenes, do a lot of work at Armadale. Could you give us some indication, like, I think you go on a Wednesday and a Friday, what sort of work do you have to do that people don't see so that the meeting goes ahead on a Friday?
Obviously, track maintenance, repairing the air fence, just anything as I see. I treat the place as if it was mowing, to be quite honest with you. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was there during the week there, in the middle of the winter. Look after the tractors, cut the grass, welding, just anything at all to keep it going. Because it is an old lady, a tired lady,
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for the Speedway, the Cochrans, I'm sure, would just let it go
Yeah.
down. So
Yeah,
it's
they're not
something-
going to spend any money on it. It's up to
Definitely
the Speedway to keep that going. So, say on a Wednesday or something, what's your typical regime with the track? What are you doing? Are you packing it? Are you breaking it up? Or
Well,
are you...
first thing we do, we pull the loose dirt away from the air fence. Well, we blow the air fence up and pull the dirt away. Then we wash the fence with pressure washers and what have you. But I don't do so much of the track now, because previous when Alan was doing Wolverhampton, Alan beat Wolverhampton, now we did Edinburgh, so I always reported to my boss what we were doing. So I had a good relationship, and
Yeah.
I certainly miss Alan for what he did do. And that's why with all the tractors, folk don't believe what 7 tractors, a team, 1 to 7. But, the reason being was Alan, I wouldn't say he was struggling a wee bit, but to make his job easier, I would buy a tractor and fit an implement on it. So if I wasn't there, you could just jump from one tractor to another, rather than shift the 3-point linkage and all that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, great. Next one I've got is somebody's asked, in your opinion, what changes would you make to the Armadale track to improve the racing, if any?
I would.
Right, okay.
Twice I've asked to do it. The back straight, I would make it like a D,
Okay.
you know, because I think all the bikes nowadays, the same engine, not the same engine tuners, but the bikes are the engines are at maximum. So you follow my leader just about.
Yeah.
So unless somebody makes a mistake, it's harder to pass, and that's why I would like to alter the track. So we'd have to move 4 lampposts and maybe 1.5 meters on the back straight. So when they come out the second bend, they're getting a better run.
So you're making the back straight a curve rather than a
Yes.
straight?
Ah,
A bit like Bellevue's got.
well, also like Sheffield.
Right.
So that's it. Just about trying to make the racing better.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask a supplementary question? When the track was built, if you remember, Ronnie, when there's no gate, that was like a big bottom of a lamppost that went in. And I always felt that that was too far into the track, because the fence comes up on them pretty quickly as they come onto that second bend. And I don't know if you remember the night that Blair Scott realised a bit late and bailed off the back and demolished the whole bloody fence from there right round to the end of the home straight. And I often thought that and a hen when it hits that goodnight Vienna, that should be shoved over a bit, and maybe that bit there where that no gate is narrowed down a bit.
You're talking about when the tractors come out, Jim, are you? With that,
Aye,
there's no
aye,
fence.
because that there, you know, it's not the first time when I was clerk of the course I'm in City Riders. You're too close to that bloody fence coming out that bend, and the classic was Cameron Woodward, and I told him, get away from the bloody fence. Oh no, I'm fine. He went out in his next heat, hit the bloody fence and broke his wrist. You know, but
When we built the track, we always involved at the beginning, were restricted. We only went 2 long straights, because when I'd done the stock cars at Armadale, it was big long straights, and it was like going round an egg. In one bend you had 2 bends, another bend you had 1, just like an egg. So that's why we restricted the length of the track, because we only went 2 long straights.
I will apologise for the wee kink near going into the third bend. That was Bill Purnell and I's point. If you look good at it, you can see the kink. We were knocking the posts and we suddenly realised we're going in the wrong direction. And we continued, it would have been
But when we put the lights on, you know, the lampposts, we got them from Bernard Hunter, and we got Mose gives a hand to the welded the lights and put them in. We had the Greyhound track and the Speedway track.
Aye.
So now I wish we had moved it further out, so
Aye.
we could widen the track, which
Yeah.
hopefully I would like to see it being done, but might get knocked in the head, I don't know.
Second supplemental, could you see about improving the lighting? Because when you're sitting in the cowshed at times, you know, the lighting's not the best up the far end, but maybe that's just my...
Well, we're replacing all the lights with LED lights, and it's the one, you know, we get rid of the bulbs, and it's brighter lights, LEDs, that.
LEDs.
LED,
Aye.
right.
Put lights on the bikes, that would be alright, that can.
I know that you replaced the lights, the famous, the Peter Hill light, that got replaced obviously, and it's a lot brighter on the fourth end, yeah. So, obviously you said there that you were involved when you were putting the track in. First of all, do you think personally Speedway's better on a small track or a big track?
I would say yes.
A small track, you'd
Yes.
rather, so,
Well, if we ever decide to move, we'd love to do the lottery every week, hoping.
yeah,
But you don't want, to me, nowadays, especially in the UK, you don't want a football park
yeah,
in it because it's too wide, too long. But you have to have a track with sharing. You can't afford to have a speedway track or a track doing nothing for 5 months of the year.
yeah.
This is an unfortunate thing. So, who knows what will happen there.
Okay. And then somebody else is asking, over the years when you've been obviously preparing the track and that, somebody's asked, who was the worst rider for complaining that everything was wrong, and who was the easiest rider that never gave you any hard time on the track?
I was never in that position. You know, I was never that involved. I was never really in charge. So I couldn't answer your question.
Right, okay.
Alan or John Campbell or some of them,
Yeah,
you know, so.
okay. Well, sorry who asked that one, but we've not got an answer for you.
That's very diplomatic for you.
I'll give you a name, Trent Leverington, he hated it.
Well, they only had to come a few times a year, didn't they?
well.
It wasn't the home rider, yeah.
No, Trent was a great guy, #1 in my books.
Okay. What, for giving you a hard time with the track or
No, Trent used to come along for the Deal Devils, and he did umpteen standing jobs for me without, you know, being hard pushed. I mean, he took a flag, did machine examiner one night, start marshal, and he always would come up and say, "Can I help you in?"
Okay.
You know?
Next one, Ronnie, if somebody's asking, what's your most embarrassing situation you found yourself in at the Speedway? Other than your braces when you were coming back. Obviously. This could be as a fan or a director, or maybe one of each.
I think the only embarrassing thing was doing the track and took my eyes off the track and ran into the fence.
But you put it back before anybody noticed, did you?
My pride was really hard. There wasn't that many people seeing me, so it didn't matter.
Next question is, where do you tend to get your shield from?
Well, I moved away a bit. We used to get for Gillis's at Pumperson, and it was getting too fine, you know. So now we've got to Winchborough, the police being there. And now I've stepped up from, it used to be 6 multi dust, now we're using 10 multi dust. So the shield breaks up, but if it's wet, you know, it's having a bit of body rather than being slimy or whatever.
I think that question was also asking you maybe got some from an old Speedway track as well down south recently, because somebody was saying they had to go and collect it for you. I think it's sitting in that corner over
I
there.
think Alan organised something breeding.
In Wolverhampton or something.
Well,
You
a
got
quarry down there, but it wasn't actually a shale. It was too expensive, and the shale we're supplying, or I'm supplying, the pool work, not working to Wolverhampton, quite a lot of places, Oxford, Berwick. Berwick get quite
They're
a
all
lot
coming
of
from
shale
the
actually.
same. The
Aye.
same. Oh, that's right. It's good to know that it's coming from Scotland.
Aye.
Yeah. And then the next one was casting your mind back when you constructed Armadale. To put in layman's terms, rather than how much tonnage of shale's on that, how many truckloads of shale did it take to construct Armadale roughly? Can you remember?
Oh, I can remember. Obviously, we had to put a basin. So lucky that the stock car track was tarmac, so that gave us a good base to work on there. But if you look at the kickboards, they're quite far into the ground now, so you know when you're replacing one, you're weighing about this much in the ground,
Right.
so it just shows how much we've built up. The track.
And then you've got a rough idea how much shale you're having to buy each year just to maintain the track.
Well, I'll say about 60 tonne a year.
Okay.
We'll also get clay dust, brick clay dust, to try and help it bind together before, because you're not getting oil dropping off the engines now.
Yeah,
So
so
we need
Capital
something.
R's not getting into the track anymore. Aye.
Back in the Powder Hall days, on a Thursday, we always used to go down with Shell. We always had 45-gallon drum, old engine oil.
Right.
And used to
To
I
mix
did
it
do it was no environmental here. To help the things like that. And now we've done a lot of different experiments with wind and clay and what have you. And we got oil, obviously.
Try and get the right mixture,
Try and get the right
watering it,
mixture.
because you got to get it keeps the moisture in the track, isn't it? So, okay. Somebody's asking, was Speedway better in the old days, like the 50s and 60s, than it is now?
Well, there's more passing. Simple as that. And my earlier conversation was, they're all using the same, not the same engines, the same engines.
Yeah.
So they're all extended to the same engine tuner. So
Yeah.
it's like even get the stock cars, it's done the same. Follow my leader, because they're all sending their engines away. When we done it, you tuned your engine yourself. So I was a wee better you're better me. And so
Unfortunately, it's now who's got the best sponsorship and who's got the best engine tuner rather than who's the best skillful rider. This one came from, and you'll probably guess who asked this question. How will the Monarchs fare at Ashfield next year? Mr. Culbert's asking over there. I thought he asked me how many points will the Monarchs win at Ashfield by next year.
I'm sure we'll be singing Beautiful Sunday.
We had a good golden heat last year, didn't we? So we can't complain of that. What's your favourite type of tractor?
One it doesn't break down.
I'm really a Ford man.
Not Massey Ferguson or John Deere or whatever it is.
The tractors are quite old, really. They all do a good job and I enjoy working them and I always maintain them.
So is the Ford ones easier to maintain, easier to work on?
I bet which is a farmer sitting there with a tractor. The right job for the track. I mean, some of the four-wheel drive tractor, just a wee bit too big for Armadale. But I'm sure we've got are adequate.
Yeah.
So I don't really have a favourite as such.
Next question we've got. Do you think additional practice facilities could be offered pre-season due to the lack of matches? Because obviously nowadays, the Monarchs only got 9 home matches and a couple of BSN. Do you think, say from the middle of March, some of the guys can be getting practice on the track rather than just one press day?
Well, we're up against planning permission. But, if there wasn't a meeting, you could have a practice, or what I suggest, why not have a flat track meeting, during the season, if there's not a Friday, so, pardon me, get 4 motorcycles along for a flat track, see if they enjoy it. Then any other vacant Friday, you could have a meeting, maybe just start at 5 and get in, then you maybe encourage younger people to have a go.
Yeah.
So, but unfortunately, I think it's 2.5 hours a week they're only allowed. And the Saturdays, there's been 1 or 2 complaints, not massive complaints, but regarding how we managed to run a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
But there's not been a big issue, so we'll keep continuing to do the Saturdays.
Yeah, I suppose we've got to watch we don't impinge on our planning permission and get shut down. We've got some other questions that aren't necessarily speed related, so one's our stock cars. Because obviously you had a stock car career yourself, and quite a well-known rider and done very well. How did you get involved in stock cars?
Well, let's say earlier on, 4 wheels are better than 2. So I remember buying this Ford car and I could have done it up and sold it. My mate was in the hand. Next thing he knocked the windows out. I said, well, that's it. Here we go. So that's how I got involved.
So when did you start racing stock cars?
1968.
68. Until when?
73.
73. And was that at Cowdenbeath? Yeah.
Well,
And Armadale. Did you say you raced at Armadale?
I raced at Armadale. At least at Wimbledon, Ipswich, and Boston, not Boston, I can't remember the other one. There was a place in Glasgow, Carntine, and a stock car track there.
And how far did you get in your career? Were you quite successful?
I was Scottish champion in 1968. Somebody did a printout. I I've done not too bad. There's a boy, Alistair Shanks, on Facebook. I'm his hero, believe it or not. I didn't get out there. There was always putting photographs on, because the photographs are on, they're all black and white, which are quite good.
So you started in '68 and you won the Scottish Championship in '68 in the first year.
I must say 67 years.
So that was a good rise up. What was your favourite racing experience, you think? Was it winning the Scottish Championship, or did you do?
That was a good experience. It must be the best. Yes.
And what car did you use, and what sort of engine did it have in it?
Well, the first one was 410 horsepower side valve. Then you fitted 2 SU carburetors on it. Then after that, went to a 400E engine, which is 1000cc or near enough. Then they started going to BMC, so it was 1200. Well, it's 1000. Then they went to 1200. Then they went to 1500cc. And then went to 1800. That finished at 1800 MGB.
So the engines actually weren't that big, not that powerful. But what sort of speeds were you?
I was doing just 60 miles an hour or something like that.
With a boy on your inside and a boy on your outside and a boy behind you.
So the first time it
There
was
wouldn't be
shale.
anybody in front of you, of course, just a boy behind you.
I would say the first time it was shale, then eventually got tarmac. And it was a kind of beast.
So did you tune the engines yourself and do all the maintenance? So
Yes.
you were mechanic and driver.
Ah.
And then did you have any racing incidents? Did you have any accidents or?
I had a broken ankle and concussion. The one time I broke an ankle rather, somebody's dropped their engine with oil and I come in the street, couldn't turn right at the fence. So I hit the fence, the car's coming back but my ankle was behind the pedals and broke. Jesus. So there's a couple of photographs no recently on it, but I saw the one lorry at the time. So somebody worked with me for a day, I couldn't handle that. So used to put the boots on and stop at the Royal Infirmary, going with the crutches. They're not getting much rest. It's getting better than back at driving the lorry.
What you had to do in those days.
Yeah.
And then another question, that's not many stock cars, but rusty nails. How did they come about? The question is obviously you're famous now in the Speedway Star for that.
Well, what happened? I don't know if it was Brian and Modes and all the rest of it. We went to the dinners at Coventry. We used to have a wee drink in their room. So I started drinking whiskey and Drambuie. They were pretty famous for it. Must say I quite enjoy them.
Yeah. And it certainly gets people relaxed before the dinners, doesn't it? And there's one question left, and it's not a Speedway related question, but this is Nigel Finlay asked. What was the Christmas number one in 1972?
That's me.
He said he told you the answer just about an hour ago. He said, see if he remembers.
I was that surprised to get my gift.
Well, we'll open it up to the floor then. Other than, no, he's away as well, the guy. So. What was the Christmas number one in 1972, anybody?
Slade, maybe?
Yes. Jimmy, do you remember the song? That's it. Point to that lady. That's it. Remember Finlay, she told you that.
Still got the poster.
By Jimmy Osmond. It wasn't really a Christmas song, but that was the Christmas number one in 70. I think Slade was 73. That's when the Christmas ones started coming out. That's the end of the written questions.
Well, there's one question.
Right.
Did you ever ride a Speedway bike then? Did you ever ride a Speedway bike?
Not really. Well, we used to, way back, there used to be a practice track at Breach.
Oh yeah, I went there.
And we used to just have old motorbikes, and I don't know if there was any Speedway bikes there, but it was in the middle of nowhere. We used to get there on a Sunday, and it was like an old coal mine, and that's where we used to practice. So that's
Tried it once and said that was enough, did you?
No, I was just, well, that was, after Breach finished, it was going to come to a halt.
Right.
But I've got 7 Speedway bikes in my garage, so I want to come out, they're welcome any time. Place is licensed, by the way.
So is there any other questions that's come to anybody's mind that they want to just shout out with?
How many bags of leaves did you pick up the other week there, Ronnie?
Pardon?
How many bags of leaves did you pick up? Because you're working out. Were you there?
Fine.
A couple of weeks ago I was out seeing you. Who's out with the leaves?
Your Hoover was working well, wasn't it?
No, no, just shovel.
Just raking it up. Oh,
That's
yes.
all, man.
Can I ask as well, you were talking about the shields and the maintenance for the season, talking roughly 60 tonne. What sort of cost is that to the club to basically keep the track maintenance on shield for a full season?
Believe it or not, don't blow my own trumpet, but I pay for all the shale all the time.
Oh,
So, and it's now, I'll get for £12 a tonne. You know, way back it was £4 or £5.
Probably a lot more than that, probably.
Yeah,
elsewhere,
because-
but-
It was like the clay dust I was telling you about. I was getting it from Rayburn Brick Company in Glasgow. And there was a surplus of requirements. When I started using it, one or two other people was telling them, so what they done, put the price up. You know, so they were getting a waste, they were getting money for it.
No, it's another expense that people
Aye.
probably don't really take into consideration. Like now you're talking about a replacement of air fence,
Aye.
maintenance of shield, probably, obviously we know the shield gets thrown around, but you probably just always think, oh, it gets scraped back in, you don't think, oh, well, you know, that's another grand or something over the season.
Because you say it maybe starts
It all
off at a
mounts
certain
up.
size and it
Aye.
grinds down through the season, so you've got to.
Well, every year we take dirt off. But the machine never come this year. You know, the track tends to get a ridge, you know. That's another story. I used to do the track with Alan, so we always discussed it. But these are finished, unfortunately, so you just shut your face and go on with it. Just glad we've got Speedway and that's enjoy it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
totally what it's all about.
Ronnie, do you remember way back in the Waverley Market days, the indoors, the Ideal Home Exhibition? I think you raced in a cycle speedway match indoors, did you?
Yeah, that's right.
And is that right enough?
I raced at the Waverley Market and
Aye.
Princess Street Gardens.
Can you remember who the speedway riders were that night? Was Jack Young there?
No, I couldn't do
50s
that.
probably was. I think he did go.
We used to race through Wishaw as well. We used to get a bus through Wishaw.
At the indoors. And did you actually race for a team in the Edinburgh Lothians League at the time?
Colrig
At
Tigers.
Colrig?
And Cycle Tigers.
Oh yeah.
But my mother and father weren't religious or that, but they objected to racing on a Sunday. You know, the days when we were younger, all you done was went to the museum or something like that.
Sunday school.
So Sunday school, so I used to smuggle my bike out to my pals. And just a couple of, used to wear a football short at the top. So that was it. So,
But you definitely raced at the Waverley Market,
aye,
didn't you? Yeah.
Princess Street Gardens.
I'm giving my age away.
You'd be racing as well, Johnny, were you?
Well, I'll be a spectator, that's for sure. Or the mascot, maybe.
There used to be a magazine come out one time.
What was it called, Ronnie?
Some cycle.
Smoke signals!
Smoke signals?
That was, that was in the 60s.
What's
Smoke
that?
signals, it was in the 60s, yeah.
There was a guy from Pennycook used to put it together, a guy called this guy Speedway Sam or Casper, but his right name was John Redpath.
Well, I remember John.
A long-haired guy with
Yeah.
probably his glasses were thicker than Ken Hillman's. That's telling you.
He used to sell the motorcycle news at Old Mare Bank. John Redpath. Yeah.
I'd be the same guy.
Aye.
Ronnie, if your money comes, your lottery comes up and you've got carte blanche to build a track, you're going to build a wee one instead of something like Bellevue then, do you think? Because I've seen Bellevue racing, you talked earlier about passing being hard and that, but whatever on YouTube say that, you know, you get some of the cracking races around the new Bellevue track, or Manchester, whatever you want to call it. No, you would still go for the wee one, do you think?
I build it bigger than the Armadale, that's for sure. But I don't think it go as big as
Bellevue.
You
Bellevue.
think somewhere about 300 metres perhaps? Powder Hall was about 300
What's
metres,
that,
wasn't
feet
it?
and inches?
8 inches. About 300 and odd yards. Personally, I think it's up better on a smallish track rather than a bigger track. But that gentleman used to race on Berwick, didn't you? So did you like a bigger track? Yeah.
I like the big ones then.
Yeah.
But there again, I mean, Bellevue was the best track. Ryan will probably back me up, one of the best. You could pass on the original Bellevue